Welcome back to the Hamilton Public Library. This is Linda and we will be making mini jar lanterns. You will need a small jar. Here I have a small yogurt jar. You'll need some twine. You can use this jute twine that I have here, kitchen twine, or any macrame cording that's very thin, or yarn, threads, whatever you have on hand. And the first thing you're going to do is take your twine. I have 4 pieces here that are cut 4 feet in length, and you're going to do a simple knot in the center of the twine. You will then take this to the bottom of your jar to keep it secure while we are making the knots. So here I have my jar with the twine taped into the center of the bottom, and you're going to separate your twine into 4 pairs of strings. And then we're going to tie a simple knot in each pair. So you want the knot to settle just along the bottom of the jar. This will be your first set of knots. So take your time going around the jar, and if you do make a mistake, it's very easy to just unknot it and try to do it again. This may take a bit of practice to get it into the spot that you want it to be in. You also want to make sure all the sets of knots you make are kind of aligned around the jar to make it look symmetrical. It doesn't have to be perfect, but somewhere in the right area. So now we're going to take the 2 knots, and we're going to take 1 string from each knot, and we're going to tie another knot. And you can see here that this makes kind of a symmetrical diamond. So you want to kind of make it look even. So again, we're going to do a simple knot. We're going to take one of the strings remaining from that pair and grab another string from another knot and do the same thing. And again, try to align it with the knot you just made from the previous pair. So this will eventually make kind of a fishnet design. It'll look like a net. And it's very easy to pop the jars in and out of your holder. So if you're using it, for planting small plants or adding, pretty crystals. I use mine with battery operated candles, so I have them hanging outside. I don't use a real candle because I'm worried the string could catch fire, and you don't want that to happen. So I always use battery operated candles. So you can see I now have the second set of the 4 knots completed. And I'm not really liking the way this one has settled. The diamond is a bit too large, so I'm just going to try to adjust it. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you do want them to kind of be somewhat symmetrical. So obviously I did not like the way this one looked at all, and there we go. Okay. So you can start to see the netting design coming around, and we're going to go to the next set of knots. Again, you're going to take 1 string from each knot, and we're going to join it together with a simple knot. And placing the jar on its side throughout the process helps you determine where you're going to have that knot land. So here we go. Now you're going to take, again, the same pattern all the way around. You're going to take 1 string from each and just work your way around the jar. And as you work your way around, you're going to see how it is forming. So if there are any, mistakes that you've made, you possibly picked up the wrong strings, or it's not looking as aligned as you'd like it, you can simply remove the knots like I've said before and redo it. And here we go with the last knot in this set, and then we will do one more set of knots that will kind of land near the lip of the jar. So here we go. You can see that it is almost complete, but you will need one more set of knots. So we're going to start again by grabbing a string from each knot, and then you're going to tie them and make 4 more knots. Now what you want to do at this stage, because you're nearing the end and it's difficult to tie the knots near the lip of the jar while it's upside down, I've turned it on its side so that you can see, or you can hold the jar better while you're knotting, and you can see where you would like to place that knot. So here you see I have it right by the lip of the jar. Now if you do want to use larger jars, you can do that as well. These are small little mini yogurt jars, or similar to baby jars, baby food jars, but you can also use mason jars if you'd like for this, and or cans. Let's say if you have cleaned out cans that you can plant your herbs in and you'd like to hang them this way, this makes it look very pretty and rustic. So you can do that as well. You will just need more string, so your string will have to be a lot longer, and you'll probably need maybe 6 to 8 pieces of string rather than 4, and you will cut the string longer. So the rule of thumb is about 8 to 10 inches, or 8 to 10 times the length of your jar. So let's see. So it looks like I've got a couple that I need to fix. The knot didn't really settle right where I wanted, which was the lip of the jar. So again, I'm just going to undo it. And sometimes you can't tell until you pick up the jar and stretch out the string. So here we go, we're gonna get that one done and another one on the other side. And then we are just about done. So as I was saying before, if you have a larger jar, what you're going to do is measure the length or the height of the jar and cut your string about 8 to 10 times longer than that. So now we're going to gather all the strings together and just tie a knot at the top, and this will help you hang it. And there we have it. You have your completed little lantern or planter or whatever you want to use it for. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and please check out all the other videos I have on this channel. Thank you.